I guess we kind of just switched scenes. Yo, what's up, bros? I hate doing this stuff on stream, but I'm also uploading a video today as part of the going live notifications. How's it going, guys? We're just gonna sit here and chat while I brush my hair because I still haven't managed to completely do that yet for the stream. How's everyone today? I hope y'all are doing well. I've had a bit of a rough week, to say the least. I hope it's been better for everyone else. I see Rose said something, but I can't see what it is without my glasses. So, I guess I don't need to get all the knots out. Just as long as we get the big boys out so they don't start turning into dreads again. I actually let myself grow natural dreads once when I was younger, and it was cool at first until I got like one massive monster dread that was just unmanageable, and I was like, nah, fuck this shit, and I actually shaved it all off at that point because it started out like my hair's starting to disappear. This was when I was like 25, 27, somewhere around there. I don't remember. I don't pay attention to the time the way humans do. So I was just like, cool. I'll just let my hair grow out and see what happens. And it got to a point where I was just like, we'll do the natural dreads thing. I don't know what's going on. And then when I shaved it off, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to see what the future holds for me. So I just went straight, absolute to the skin. Like, no setting on the clippers, just the raw blades themselves. I didn't ever do like the razor with shaving cream on the head like I've seen some of the proud baldies do, you know? But I took the trimmers, took it down to just basically nothing, just the lightest peach fuzz you can imagine. And then when it started growing back, I was like, fuck it, we'll see how much of it comes back, you know? But this time, I've been doing a lot more to take care of it. And all that jazz. Alright. I think we've basically got all the major knots out. It's not catching on anything. We can worry about that later. Kinda should have brushed the beard too, but oh well, it is what it is. Let's see if that video is done uploading. Yay the robe. Oh yeah, it's Sunday. We do this every Sunday. We save it for Sundays because Sunday is God's day, and we're trying to, the whole reason we do these, these Sunday chats is just so people can come and chat, and I don't do work on Sunday unless it's like a necessity or, quote unquote, God's work. So we're just here hanging out, talking about whatever people need to talk about. I think I have a precordial catch syndrome. I am not familiar with that. Give me a second to see what the internet says about it. There's so many different syndromes these days. I don't even know who to trust anymore. As far as information goes, Wikipedia is not anywhere near as reliable as it used to be, which is hilarious because back in high school, they used to tell us Wikipedia was not a reliable source of information, but like, it actually was, and now it's not anymore. But people constantly go to Wikipedia. It's like not terrible, but it's not great either. We're on Wikipedia. It says it's a non-serious condition where there are sharp stabbing pains in the chest. These typically get worse with inhaling and occur within a small area. Spells of pain usually last less than a few minutes. Typically, it begins at rest and other symptoms are absent. Concerns about the condition may result in anxiety. The underlying cause is unclear. Some believe the pain may be from the chest wall or irritation of the intercostal nerve. Risk factors include psychological stress. Pain is not due to the heart. Diagnosis is based on the symptoms. Other conditions that may produce similar symptoms include angina, pericarditis, pleurisy, and chest trauma. Treatment is usually via reassurance, as the pain generally resolves without any specific treatment. Precordial cat syndrome is relatively common, and children between the ages of 6 and 12 are most commonly affected. Males and females are affected equally. It is less common in adults. The condition has been described since at least 1893. Characteristic symptoms include sharp stabbing pains in the chest. These typically get worse with breathing in and occur within a small area. Spells of pain usually last less than a few minutes. Typically it begins at rest and other symptoms are absent. Concerns? What? I already read this. See, this is why Wikipedia is so bad. It's just repeating itself. Alright. The underlying cause is unclear. Oh my god. So it's literally just repeating itself. This is one of the worst. Alright. Let's see what else we got. I'm not even sure about it anymore. I guess we go to WebMD. Or maybe Cleveland Clinic. Is this actually a clinic? But it's Cleveland. We can't do anything with Cleveland. Go to the WebMD. Alright. I'm just gonna skim over this because a lot of it's the same information we already read. Doctors sometimes call it Texidor's twinge after one of the first doctors to study it. If you don't breathe deeply for a while, you may start to feel lightheaded. This isn't a direct symptom of pericardial cat syndrome. It happens because of the way you breathe. Yeah, if you're not getting oxygen because you're afraid to breathe, you might get lightheaded. The pain from cat syndrome usually disappears after 30 seconds to 3 minutes. Some people may feel it for up to half an hour. Once the pain fades, you should feel normal again right away. The sharp pain should be the only symptom you feel. Doctors don't know what causes pericardial cat syndrome. It may be the sign of a pinched nerve or a muscle spasm within the inner lining of the chest or chest wall. It doesn't affect your heart or lung. It has no ties to conditions there. In some people, it may come during... So fucking Wikipedia lied, because this literally says it doesn't affect your heart or lungs, and Wikipedia said it was a lung thing. It's a muscle spasm, which leads me to believe it's demons, but I don't think other people will understand what I mean when I say that, so we're just gonna move past that. If they're certain you don't have any other symptoms or risk factors or another condition, you may not need to have any tests. If your doctor thinks there may be another problem, they may order an x-ray or an ultrasound. Pericardial cat syndrome goes away quickly, so you shouldn't need pain or medication or other treatment. Some people find that when they feel the intense stab of pain in their chest, a deep breath may make the pain disappear, even though it may hurt to take that deep breath. Stretches or a change in posture could also help you feel better. Alright. Did you ever have it before Rose? So, the best thing that it basically seems like it's just growing pains. I know that may sound a little dismissive, but I promise you that's not what I intend. It's intended to be a reassurance, as in like you'll get through this. It doesn't seem to be, if that is what it is, it's probably gonna go away, and it's probably mostly a mental thing, which is why I say demons. I have it, and I've had since 7 or younger. If I have it, I have had it since 7 or younger. So we're saying, like, I prefer people don't put their ages in chats for various reasons. But you're saying basically this has been an ongoing thing for around 10 years now, at least? Because everyone, keep in mind this is a mature chat, and I have a marker in my chat, and anyone that reveals to me that they're under 18, I have to ban them, of course, according to Twitch TOS. So this is just a reminder for anyone who might be listening. I don't know, I can't do anything about that. But yeah, have you had, is this the first time you've had, I'm assuming this isn't, but have you had other doctors look at this? Have you had multiple opinions? I need to check and see how the post is. It should be done with. Okay. I need to do the next one, which is TikTok, I guess. I need to. Wait, what? Dude, I don't even know. These links make no sense. I click on one profile and it takes me to a different profile. TikTok is crazy. No, never had an opinion about it. I had it most of my childhood. I never wanted my mother to worry. I can understand that, but one of the things I've found in life is if you have a problem you can't handle by yourself and you can't figure out why you can't handle it, it's never gonna go away if you don't talk to people about it, you know? I'm probably pretty far away from the microphone because it was back behind where it normally is. That's probably better for everyone. I generally move it after the stream is over so I can see my screens better. I can understand that. There are lots of things I never told my parents, but it was more not because I didn't want them to worry. It was because I knew they wouldn't understand. They're kind of very, very stuck in their ways, to say the least. So if it's like not what they want, then it's just nothing of any. It's just a whole big deal that it doesn't need to be. They blow everything out of proportion. They blow things out of proportion that don't matter at all, but then they don't take things seriously that need to be taken seriously. So there are many things I've never told my parents, and I can definitely relate to that feeling. Also, that deep breath trick makes it go away most of the time. Yeah, so I think it definitely sounds like, just off the basis of what I read here, not necessarily your own thing, it seems like it's mostly a sign of excessive stress or anxiety. So the best things you can probably do is try to figure out those sources of stress and anxiety in your life and eliminate them. You know, this seems like one of those syndromes that is actually a symptom rather than a cause. You know what I'm saying? I think I know taking a deep breath when it's painful can be hard. I've had to do that many times, especially, dude, why does it take so long to upload this shit? Anyways, I don't even know what the hell I'm watching. Like, what is this? There we go. At least that's like somewhat. 82%. I would look into different breathing techniques. So this is something I'd love to research myself eventually too, as a singer. But most people don't breathe properly to begin with. So that can certainly help. Because if you're taking really shallow breaths, you're not really... Oh, let me see. My anxiety causes a different chest pain than the stabbing pain. Well, there's two kinds of anxiety. There's conscious anxiety and subconscious anxiety. So, and this says it can cause anxiety, but when they say that, they mean like the conscious anxiety. When you realize, when you actually feel anxious. There's also like a subconscious anxiety where you don't really know you're anxious, but like it can be read in your body language, it can be read in your actions. It's kind of like when your shadow self takes over and allows you to, and causes you to do things you wouldn't normally do, or your body to act in ways it normally wouldn't. Are you familiar with the concept of the shadow self, bros? This coffee's really good. I have a Advent coffee calendar I got from Aldi's, and it's got 1 K-cup for each day up to Christmas. Day being December 1st, we did the first one. It is a chocolate coconut coffee. And I was pretty hesitant because I love coconut coffees, but chocolate coffees, as much as I love chocolate, they're kind of hit or miss for the most part, where most of them, it seems, have this weird, disgusting aftertaste that I just can't stand. But this one does not have that taste. And when I find a coffee, chocolate coffee that doesn't have that aftertaste, so good. Big win. But alright, so the shadow self is a Jungian philosophy, which means it was developed by Carl Jung. Do you know who Carl Jung is? What the hell? Dude, I need to find a new search. Oh, this is Brave search? Really? Dude, this is even worse than fucking DuckDuckGo and Google. Oh. I get why. It's actually not that bad. It's just that people are dumb. And they look for shelves called a shadow shelf. So it assumes that's what I want. But I'm actually talking about the shadow self, not the shadow shelf. It thinks did I misspell it? I did misspell it. I'm the dumb one. How did I type shelf in? Well, I learned something new today. There's such a thing as a shadow shelf. Where'd that H come from? So, Carl Jung is one of the most widely respected psychologists to have ever lived. He is the guy that developed the... Can I find like a website that I trust. There's no websites that I trust. Oh, here's the Cleveland Health Clinic. Sure, we can go back there. They had some good information about the other stuff. So he's the guy that developed those tests that you take when they're like, oh, you're INFJ or whatever, right? So that was developed by Carl Jung. He did all kinds of other things, and he talked about the shadow self. And basically, the shadow self is the dark parts of ourself that we refuse to acknowledge. And if we don't acknowledge those and accept that, like, we aren't the person we want to be, then one, we'll never end up moving closer to that person we actually want to be. But even worse than that, the longer you deny your shadow self, the more negative impacts it will have on your life, including things like even physical manifestations, or you'll end up doing things and not understand why you did it, and that's because it was your shadow self acting out. So we can go into this in a minute. Let me see if this video finished uploading. Okay, it did. We are done with TikTok. So we go back to, what the, dude, TikTok is just, all the social media is just increasingly unhinged. I feel like if you have kids, the best thing you can do is keep them off social media as long as possible, because it is going to ruin them. So let's start uploading. What the shit? Okay, there we go. Okay, we can't post on X because X is really going downhill. I'm still gonna post it, but it's only gonna be like 2 minutes. Do I really need the music on? I can hear it coming out of my headphones, but I guess we'll leave it there for now. At least until I switch into the game. I want to do Blue Sky. And I think I'm done finally. Can I even post video on Blue Sky? Let's find out. Only 60 seconds. Fine. Did I really just DC? Twitch doesn't think I DC'd, but OBS told me I DC'd. I have 0 connection, according to OBS. Can you guys hear me? Okay. It says I'm back. Can you guys hear me now? Hello, is anyone there? I told a spammer to leave. I told a spammer I knew that they were a scammer, that they were scamming on Blue Sky. And the moment I did that and report them and block them, I got followed by 2 accounts. One's called German Shepherd and the other's called Saint Bernard, and they both only have 2 photos of a dog. And I'm pretty sure they're other accounts from that scammer. I'm gonna report it real quick. I think they control me, and I won't go and report all of their accounts. And then they won't have any accounts left to scam with, you know? They're both just really sus accounts. I know what a bot account and a scam account looks like. Alright. But very choppy. Really. Let me, where's my, I have a tab with it up. Oh my god! Is it better now? No. Dude, I don't know what's going on. Let me check something. I think it's the internet up here. I have really bad internet up here. And there's nothing I can do about it at the moment. What? I don't know what's going on. Like, I really can't understand it. My bitrate is tanking. I'm getting it's going down to like 200. 175. I'm gonna stop the stream and restart it and see what happens, because the speed test came out 5. Fine, 5. Alright, let me stop the stream. Okay, it's already, oh, dude, what? 2! It went to 2! It literally went down to 2 kilobytes a second. I don't know why. This is happening. Okay, we're up to 3K. We're up to 3K kilobytes a second. Um, let's see. I do want to Google this kind of stream randomly drops to what the fuck? So it's gonna. I don't. It's basically. Apparently, I'm supposed to be back. Apparently, it's actually just according to my internet sucking. Let's see if there's a bandwidth test I can do instead of a speed test. I don't know. I don't want a speed test. I want specifically bandwidth. And why? There's no way. I don't get it. It makes absolutely no sense. Okay, it says I'm back to 6K now. Well, not 6K. I run at 5.5K because 6K is like where Twitch will start limiting you. So, we try and avoid hitting that ceiling. Hopefully, I am back for good now. It sucks that like this happens because this is just not gonna help me get my numbers back up. I need to figure. This is not the first time it's happened in a new place. I think it's actually an issue with the internet. I'm gonna have to call the internet tomorrow, and they're probably gonna say, "Oh, it's not our problem. It must be something with your PC." Oh, really? Then how come it never fucking happened until I plugged into your internet, you know? Alright, let me see. I kind of want to know You know, while we have good internet, before it bottoms out again, we're gonna go back into the shadow self. So, the Cleveland Clinic, which so far seems to be okay as far as trustworthiness. Rose, are you still here listening? Or did you leave? Did you leave when the stream cut out? I don't blame anyone who did, by the way. I'm just curious, asking. So basically, I'm just gonna read this for now. I did find the book I was reading. I think I brought them down here. I have two books. One is the Bible, and the other is the collected works of Plato. But I guess I didn't. Oh, there they are. They're under it. Oops. Hopefully I didn't wreck anyone's ears when I kicked the table. This is the first book we ever read on these Sunday streams. We only read the New Testament though. The Old Testament is quite a slog. And I've read most of the Old Testament. There are entire chapters that are nothing but lists of names in here. So there's really no reason to read a lot of that stuff on stream. Besides, the Old Testament, as far as I'm concerned, is kind of just like the reference material for the New Testament. The New Testament's where all the good shit is. And a lot of people really misinterpret the Old Testament. For example, there's some Christians who like to talk about how you shouldn't get tattoos or do certain things because it says that in Leviticus, but it also says in Leviticus that if a woman tries to teach, you should stone her to death, and you should never wear clothing of mixed cloth. So it's like, oh really? Funny that you should talk down on people wearing tattoos when you're wearing a polyester cotton wool mixed suit. And it's just like there's a lot of hypocrisy that goes on with that. So I think we may have lost Rose, but that's fine. We can go back. We'll probably read this anyways. What I want to start doing, but I just don't feel like doing a whole bunch of reading today. I want to do some gaming, my own mental health purposes. It would be I would be ignoring Jesus' advice if I ignored my own mental health in lieu of yours, because he said worry about the log in your own eye so you can see clearly to draw the splinter out of your friends. But at some point, I really, really want to get back into these collected works of Plato, because most of Plato's writings are just recording what Socrates said, because Socrates didn't really write anything down until he was in jail, like sentenced to death, and then he wrote like a few poems and stuff like that. But for the most part, he would just go and like, basically his entire story is that, like, the gist of it is that he was a young man who did quite well on the battlefield, gained some fame there, and then at one point, one of the Greek oracles told him that he was the wisest man in Greece, or maybe even the world, or something like that. But it was like, or like the known world, and he didn't believe it. So he was like, bro, I don't believe it. There's no way. There's so much shit I don't know. I can't possibly be the wisest man in Greece. So he went around to other wise men, trying to learn from them, and he would ask them questions, which is where we get the Socratic method. Basically, the Socratic method is a means of learning through critical thinking, but no one does anymore, by asking questions and earnestly seeking the answer instead of just accepting whatever programming they, right? So he would go and do this, and he found out that all of these supposed wise men and experts were just egotistical fools. So they put him to death because he asked too many questions. And there's lots of recordings of these conversations, what most of Plato's work is, where he would go and talk to these people and eventually expose them for being a fool because they were either hypocrites or liars most of the time. So we do want to go back to reading those books at some point. But again, today we're going to do the Path of Exile. But for old time's sake, we're going to throw it back and do some reading here. I don't know if Rose is coming back, but we're still going to read about the shadow work stuff. See what the Mayo Clinic has here for us. I'll switch scenes so you guys can read along if you like. Not Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic. Here we go. I haven't read this before, so I might comment on it as we go through. Take everything with a grain of salt, as always. Hot and cold, good and bad, light and dark. We're surrounded. I would put a "we are" there. It's just, we are surrounded by binary forces that are seemingly like, people overuse contractions. Don't be fucking lazy. We are surrounded by binary forces that are seemingly in opposition to Dude, I am... Who wrote this? They don't know grammar. I am auto-correcting the grammar in my head. And I'm just reading the wrong thing because I'm reading what it should be instead of what it is. Whatever. I've just got to stop commenting on the lackluster writing and focus on the message. Now I'm just looking too hard at the grammar. I need a second to reset. All right. We are surrounded by binary forces that are seemingly in opposition to each other. When you start looking at them a little closer, you begin to realize that many of these things work together in tandem. When it comes to thinking of ourselves as complete individuals, there's certainly more to our identities than meets the eye. Bro, was this written by ChatGPT? This is like the least original writing ever. In fact, many of us, I'm done with this website. Fuck it. We need a better source. Okay. Let's see. Psychology Today. What if I am the shadow self? Oh, that's so deep. That's so deep. I'm the opus. I wrote it, and that explains. Dude, it would explain a lot. I know I owe you. So, I was looking at our Discord conversation, and I noticed that we both spelled something wrong in it. That was the funniest part of the messages I sent you. We both spelled something wrong in that conversation. So I couldn't even say anything about your misspelling. I was like, "Yep, well, there it goes." All right, but how's it going, D-Day? Good to see you. Wait, did I? We're gonna do this. Let me do these things. Guys, go follow my friends. What? Since when the fuck is that? Bro.
How the fuck did the dog get up there? Cool, it just teleported.
I can't do shoutouts for 30 minutes? Okay, I guess we need a new Frosty Tools alternative. I'm just gonna delete the thing and uninstall it, I think. What the fuck? Dude, the most toxic shit. Alright, I'm going on a rant. The most toxic shit is when you offer something for free and then you take it away after you get someone
into your architecture. That is pure fucking evil. I am so sick of these goddamn corporations saying, here, come out, use this for 2 years, and then they fucking slam it closed on you and say, oh, sorry, you need to sell us your soul now. Fucking cut that shit out, goddammit. Alright, I'm done. Yeah, I'm uninstalling the Frosty Tools shit. I'll do it after this stream. They didn't used to do that. Evernote did that to me. Google fucked me over. Like, literally, I've lost so much content that I was working on for you guys because these evil fucking corporations keep changing the rules. Alright, delete. I gotta make sure the clip player. Does Raven have clips? I didn't even see. Did we play 2 clips there? Let's see if I can still. It does it for me for 3 days of using it. Okay, so both. I want to do one more. We'll do like. Oh, he kind of changed his thing. Who else can we? We'll do. Let's make sure the clip player. Okay, cool. Clip player still 100% works. Is that a Frosty Tools clip player, or does it say something else? I can't see that. That's really tiny. That is a shout out for ants. I could make it bigger, but I don't think I'll do it in time.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, I'm back.
Nope, I didn't do it in time. Alright. But yeah, so that's another rant for the day. Anyways, back to we're talking about the shadow self, right? Because do you know what the shadow self is, DJ? It's basically the parts of ourself that we refuse to acknowledge, that we don't encounter. It's not really the subconscious, but the shadow self can manipulate your subconscious into causing you anxiety and stress and physical pain, and if you ignore it for long enough, you'll start to do things and not understand why you did them. And that's because your shadow self is asserting itself because you haven't done anything to confront it. So it just grew into an unmanageable monster, essentially. Is this Persona 4 talk? You will not get it? No, I won't. I know you've played a lot of that. I know the Persona series is huge. There are a lot of people that are into it. I'd love to maybe play through it one day, but I've got other story games to play through first. Number 1 on the list is Path of Exile, which we're going to be doing that after we finish this little chat here. I've had a rough week, so I'm going to be playing a video game during this stream, which I don't really do much anymore, but I just need some simple story game playing. One of the things we talked about a moment before, you might have heard it, but Jesus always said to worry about the log in your own eye before you worry about the splinter in your friends. So for my own mental health, I'm going to be playing a little bit of Path of Exile once we go through this little intro chat, but this is still like focused on chatting about whatever. And one of the reasons I chose Path of Exile is because like most of the time you can kind of just stop and you'll basically be all right. Like I can always portal back to town and there won't be a problem. It's not like Supervive, which I really want to play, but I can't focus on chat and do that at the same time. because that's like a full PvP match where you're just constantly under threat for 30 minutes until you end the match, you know? 4 had them confronting themselves that they didn't like and refused them the other self. Yeah, that sounds very much like it. We're gonna talk about it. We tried one article, but it was such a terribly written article that I feel like it was a Chat GPT article. So I actually don't really want to read anything from the Cleveland Clinic again after that, because it was just that bad. I was like ranting about how terrible the grammar was, and then the word choices got really bad, and I couldn't handle it anymore. But it's a Jungian discovery from, as in Carl Jung. He is the guy who is I think he's most known for doing the personality types tests, where it's like INTJ and stuff like that. So he's a very well-known psychologist. One of his other things that he's known for is shadow work, and a discussion of the shadow self, which is where it's like the dark urges and the essentially the evil thoughts that we have that most people just ignore for most of those lives, until those evil thoughts take over and start ruling their life, and then they wonder why their life spirals out of control. Well, it's because they let their demons grow too powerful, essentially, and the demons begin to dominate them. So yeah, I don't know, I don't think, at least my understanding of the shadow self is that it isn't necessarily your unconscious specifically, because like the unconscious isn't necessarily, it's more like the parts of the unconsciousness we choose to ignore, right? So we're gonna start here. Yeah, what you need to, I'm gonna read this article, and hopefully it's a lot better than the other one. What you need, let's put it up here so you guys can read along too. Why you need to get to know your shadow self. Drawing our shadows out of hiding is the first step to growth and wholeness. I would have written that differently because my brain tried to read it differently, but it's so far way better than the Chat GPT crap that was over on Cleveland Clinic. Carl Jung coined the term shadow to refer to the aspects of our personalities that we reject. Because the shadow exists in the unconscious, see, it's not the unconscious, it exists within it. Because the shadow exists in the unconscious, it's difficult to recognize. Unrecognized shadow material often creates difficulties for us in our daily lives. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. I've been hearing a lot about shadow work recently. It has a rather sexy, dark ring to it, doesn't it? But what is shadow work exactly? And why do we need it? Dude, this is so much better written than the first article. Hopefully they keep going with this. Like, my complaint about that wasn't necessarily bad grammar or anything. It's more a matter of style. I think it could have been written better, but they're speaking in their voice, so I'm fine with that. The shadow. Carl Jung first coined the term shadow to describe the aspects of our psyches that have been relegated to the unconscious. These are psychological blind spots. Often, the shadow is made up of personally and culturally unaccepted qualities we want nothing to do with, in which we use various psychological strategies to avoid acknowledging. Examples given: projection, sublimation, and repression. So I think we all know what projection is, but we're gonna read all of these anyways, just so everyone knows. Projection is the process of displacing one's feelings onto a different person, animal, or object. I combined person and animal into one word. Maybe I'm just gonna start calling people personals, because most people have devolved to the point where they're nothing more than animals at this place. Which is why I use the term humans the way I do. The term is most commonly used to describe defensive projection, attributing to one's own unacceptable urges to another. For example, if someone continuously bullies and ridicules a peer about his insecurities, the bully might be projecting his own struggle with self-esteem onto the other person. The concept emerged from Sigmund Freud's work on defense mechanisms and was further refined by his daughter Anna Freud and other prominent figures in psychology. So, there's also, not that it well, I guess it works. There's also offensive projection. So defensive projection is like when you refuse to acknowledge something about yourself, so you hate it in other people, which is like what 90% of people on social media do. It's fucking insane. And it's like the bully that hates gay guys and beats up dudes that are femme because he wants to suck dick and can't like comprehend that in his head, you know? And then there's also offensive projection, which is honestly kind of worse, and it's where you assign your positive qualities to someone that they don't have, hold them to a higher standard than they can possibly achieve, you know? And that's the one I struggle with the most. I'm not really a defensive person. You guys that have been around for a while will know that people will come in and talk some shit to me and I'll just laugh it off. It's entertainment for me. I turn it into content. But I struggle with offensive projection, where I assume the best in everyone, and most people don't even live up to like 10% of what I expect them to do. So I just end up spiraling because I rely on people and then they let me down endlessly. So I'm kind of at the point, I am at the point where I'm just cutting everyone out of my life that doesn't prove they pour into it in some shape or fashion. I understand now why people go ghost and then never talk to their old friends and family again. Sublimation, like once they blow up, you know? This is the one that I'm not really sure about what it was. So let's see what it says. Sublimation is a defense mechanism that involves channeling unwanted or unacceptable urges. Oh, yeah. I know exactly what this is. Into an admissible or productive outlet. I do this. I used to do this a lot more, but I'm getting better at this. I just didn't know what this was called. I call it, for example, a woman who recently went through a breakup may channel her emotions into a home improvement project. Or a teen who has angry and violent urges may join his school's wrestling team. The concept of defense mechanisms originate, although many Freudian theories have been disproven over time, defense mechanisms like sublimation have endured. On a spectrum from immature to mature, sublimation is considered a mature defense mechanism because it helps people to substitute the harmful for the helpful and function well within society. There's also like a bad version of sublimation where instead of a productive outlet, you do a destructive outlet, you know? Like you can either do what I do and take your pain and frustration and rage and come here and talk about it openly, or you can do what I used to do and just go gank players in EVE Online instead of like doing homework or chores. Repression is a defense mechanism in which people push difficult or unacceptable thoughts out of conscious awareness. That's absolutely what I figured it would be. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing any of the nuance. Repressed memories were a cornerstone of Freud's psychoanalytic framework. He believed that people repress that people repressed memories that were too difficult to confront, particularly traumatic memories, and expelled them from conscious thought. The idea launched an enduring controversy in the field of psychology. The notion that people repress traumatic memories that can be recovered in therapy has been discredited. There is ample evidence that people remember traumatic experiences even if they wish they could forget them, and that memory is more malleable than previously believed. Yeah, memory is really easy to fuck with, actually. Outside of the repressed memory debate, people may refer to repression colloquially, describing the tendency to push difficult feelings down or avoid confronting certain emotions or beliefs, which is how we're using it here. It's like, maybe you have issues with a parent you don't want to bring up, so you just avoid talking about them. That's a form of repression. For example, if as children we were met with disgust or rejection when we cried or acted too needy, we may have learned to strive to be independent, undemanding, and emotionally controlled. Damn! Okay. This all sounds a lot like adaptive behavior learned to survive in our early environments, right? Like a trauma response or an attachment style. Yes, the concept of the shadow captures all of these, though it encompasses aspects of ourselves buried even deeper within our personalities. In our example scenario, we aren't simply tamping down emotions or hiding signs of neediness. We are exiling them from our conscious awareness. We come to believe they aren't part of us at all. We build a narrative about ourselves that is the opposite of needy and emotional. We are independent, unemotional, or maybe just easygoing. This becomes our personality, our ego, our persona, and we believe this narrative with all our conscious awareness. This is how people lie to themselves for their entire life, basically. They never acknowledge their shadow, and so they never understand who they actually are. And that's why they will end up in an endless spiral where they crash out. Recognizing shadow material. If we remain ignorant to our shadow material, we will find small leaks of it in our lives. This is because the qualities we have rejected don't disappear, they just lie in wait. And they don't just lie in wait, they actually fester. It's like an infection. If you don't treat the infection, it's not gonna go away. It just gets worse over time until your whole fucking limb rots off. They begin to influence us in indirect ways through our unconscious. Typically, we only recognize them when their leakage causes enough damage to our lives that we can no longer ignore them. Amen to that. For example, if we are unwilling to acknowledge our emotions and needs, we likely find ourselves resentful of our partners and our unsatisfying relationship. An unmet and unacknowledged desire to be affirmed and understood emotionally could predictably lead to a host of difficulties, including depression, infidelity, and substance use. Often, when we finally recognize shadow material, we cringe. We feel embarrassment, both for possessing the qualities we reject and for our failure to see that they were always there. But such recognition is essential. We must bring what's hiding in the unconscious out to conscious awareness, where we can welcome it and work with it. Our goal is to harness the power of both. That's where the magic happens. Joseph Lee, a Jungian analyst who is one of the hosts of the Jungian Life podcast, said of the shadow, "Shadow is a veil behind which resides a darkly splendid world of unrestrained instinct, fantasy, and drive. Yielding to it might create a kind of ecstasy of relief or of a dismemberment of who we thought we should be. Shadow is full of life, a raw life that fuels into why dude, this is so lazy. It makes it so hard to read when you do this. Just put it on the next damn line. Why would you hyphenate fuels? That hurts my brain. Shadow is full of life, Comma is missing there. A raw life that fuels individuation if held in the right way. Failure to acknowledge our shadow material, whether it be selfishness, aggression, envy, pettiness, etc., leads us to attribute these qualities to others. This is known as projection. When this occurs on a larger scale, such as when we collectively project hostility or inferiority onto a group of people, the potential for persecution, cruelty, and conflict increases. Jung therefore cautioned that we must all strive to confront our personal shadows in order to work toward the collective capacity to take responsibility for and harness our collective shadows in the service of societal peace and progress, which this is literally what Jesus said 2,000 years ago, which is worry about the log in your own eye before you worry about the splinter in your brother's. That basically Jesus came here 2,000 years and told you to confront your shadow self, and people didn't listen to him. Drawing out the shadow. Shadow material must be drawn out skillfully. This can be extremely challenging, but there are some strategies that have been shown to help us begin the process of connecting to our shadows. Rose, if you're still here and didn't get chased off by the stream dying, these parts might help you right here. Notice what triggers you. People, behaviors, and personality characteristics and others that elicit strong negative emotions in you are clues that shadow material may be afoot. Pay attention to what's triggering your big feelings and consider what information those feelings contain. Keep a dream journal. Dreams and fantasies offer information about themes and conflicts present in the unconscious. Begin to write down your dreams and look for themes or motifs that recur. If you don't remember your dreams, allow yourself time to daydream and journal about that. What desires and conflicts and peeking out from below your conscious awareness. So, I kind of remember my dreams, but my dreams are like massive. I have this insane imagination where, like, in daydreams, I will create and destroy and recreate entire universes in a matter of minutes, you know? So, like, my actual dreams, I don't really remember them when I have THC, and actually, I try to do that on purpose because I can't get good sleep when I dream. It's not like nightmares or anything. I actually love my dreams, but I will constantly just like wake up in the middle of the night. I can't sleep for more than like 3 hours if I'm dreaming for whatever reason. I just inevitably wake up over and over again, and it really fucks up my ability to organize my life, you know? So that's actually the primary reason why I'm 420 friendly, is because it really helps me with my insomnia. It helps me falling asleep because my brain just won't shut the fuck off. It's just running constantly. But it also helps keep me from waking up because I just don't remember my dreams and I don't get woken up by them. But recently I've been having some pretty crazy dreams. Last night I had an awesome dream where I was existing in a zombie apocalypse, but the zombies were kind of smart. They were like regular people, but like kind of decayed and like just trying to eat me. But like you could convince them you were a zombie just by acting like them, you know? So we did a little bit of that for a while, but then eventually I said something that like one of the smarter zombies realized I wasn't a zombie, so we had to like run, and there were like I only remember the last moments before I woke up, but like it was like a whole video game, right? Like a 60-hour video game, storyline video game. I dream that shit like every night, and it's always a different, well, not always a different story. Sometimes the stories repeat, or we'll go back and it's like a part two, you know. But I've existed in this universe before, I think, but this was the most intense it's ever been, where at one point I had the zombies thoroughly convinced, but we were trying to leave. Me and someone else who was with me. I think it was a woman, but I don't recall. And the big thing was like, you couldn't let the zombies see you blink, because the zombies didn't blink. I remember that was the key. You just had to not blink. You could do like whatever else you basically wanted, but not blink. Also, don't try not to talk too much, because they would realize, okay, I can't not blink anymore. It's like starting to hurt a little bit. So, because eventually you might say something that would make you not a zombie. And I was trying, I think I knew of where there were some non-zombie survivors, and me and this woman were trying to leave the area and go to them, or maybe just even trying to leave in general. And there were two intelligent zombies following us, maybe multiple less intelligent zombies, like a horde behind them. But we had them like kind of convinced, but also suspicious. I think we had left some kind of zombie gathering early, and that's why they were suspicious of us. And at some point I said something about like, oh, there's I said something about like human being an option for food or whatever. Just like, I forget exactly how I worded it, but basically the way I worded it, it was like obvious to the zombie that like zombies only eat people or whatever in that universe. Or and so it was just like, when I presented it as like there was potentially another option and you should go here because this is where the good option is, that was when they instantly knew I wasn't a zombie, and they were like, oh well, why would we go there when you're here and we can eat you? So I was like, oh yeah, well, we're fucked now. So me and the woman I was with, we started running, but we got to this place that I'd been multiple times before, but we'd never really understood it. There were two like daises. I don't know how you pronounce the what? Is this what I'm thinking of? Yeah, I don't know why I can't find an image search of it. Well, Merriam-Webster sucks. Let's go Cambridge. Cambridge is the best, the only dictionary I trust anymore. A raised surface at one end of a meeting room that someone can stand on when speaking to a group. Yeah, but it wasn't exactly like this. Okay, let me I'm gonna do an Asmongold thing. Asmongold's favorite app. This and Notepad are his favorite apps. So I don't remember exactly what they looked like. There were two of them, and there was like an open area. I think it seemed like it may have at one point been a building. It was like in a bunch of ruins, but there were two, like, I don't remember exactly how they were shaped, but I feel like they were both kind of triangular, right next to each other. One had like all kinds of intricate runes and stuff in it. I think like kind of like a tribal pattern thing. And then I think the other one had two pits. And as we were running, we encountered a man. But I hesitate to call him a man because he was like elevated. It was like encountering Obi-Wan in the desert type of man, you know? Like you're like, oh, this is like some powerful ancient wizard or warlock thing. And he activated this dais and started powering it up. And after watching him do that, somehow I instinctually knew myself how to activate this dais. And I stood on it, and I could feel both a negative flow of energy and like a positive flow of energy for me. But like the negative energy, but as you stood on these daises and activated them, they began to levitate. And I felt the negative energy sort of come forth first, right? Because the thing I wanted to do was to summon the power to destroy these zombies, to protect the people I cared about. So I felt that start to it was one hand was like the positive energy, the other hand was the negative energy. I felt it start to channel more of the negative energy first. So I focused on trying to channel the positive energy more, and eventually I was able to balance that energy, and the dais raised up, both of the glowing things activated. They looked like fucking Moira's balls from Overwatch. One was like a dark, shadowy purple one, and the other one was like a holy light. And then this thing, with the runes and stuff, that rune kind of like activated, and it like only glowed with a holy light, but it was like oppressively bright type thing. And I felt that I was at the point of being able to combine the two energies I was manipulating into a destructive beam that I could use to wipe out the zombies. And the individual that had started manipulating this dais asked me to wait because they thought that using this other dais would be better. Well, they said this other dais would be better, and then they admitted they thought. Like, this person had like an omniscient, omnipotent power to it, but that like at the same time an insane level of humility. And I said, okay, we'll do it your way, and that's when I woke up. And then I had like a coffee and a breakfast sandwich and went back to sleep. So I'd only been asleep for like 3 or 4 hours at that point. And I was like, damn, I actually need to get some legit sleep if I'm going to be able to shovel all this snow and then stream later. So, dreams, like my dreams are absolutely insane. Every single one of my dreams could be an entire science fiction novel or fantasy novel or horror novel on its own. Although I don't experience nightmares really, you know? Because it's almost like I had so much fun, right? For almost anyone else, I feel like a dream where you're being chased by zombies and they're like threatening to devour you and everyone you love would be a nightmare. But I was like, bro, I live for this shit. Bring it, you know? So it's like I was in the moment, especially once I learned that I could like channel this ancient mystical power and just like go fucking nuclear on the zombies. I was like, all right, let's do this. But it's like, I don't think I've had a nightmare since I was very, very, very young. Like, there's only 2 dreams that ever actually scared the fuck out of me. And I know that because, I still remember them to this day. One, I was much younger. It was the weirdest thing. I existed in a 2D world, like pixelated Game Boy Color graphics, basically, or like SNES graphics type stuff. And it was a really simple dream. This is like one of the earliest nightmares I ever had. One of 2 nightmares I've ever had. I still remember it to this day. I was walking along in like a Castlevania type cave thing. Like it was a cave, but it had like a Castlevania type feel to it, where there were like a line of torches on the wall that glowed like the old Castlevania games did. And I hadn't even like seen those type of video games at this point in my life, because like retro gaming wasn't popular back then, and at this point it was mostly like the oldest game we played was Super Mario Brothers, and it didn't have any of those like horror feels or anything, because my parents were super controlling about what I was allowed to watch and play as a child, to the point where I wasn't allowed to own any Goosebumps books, and I wasn't allowed to watch Power Rangers. So there was no way they would have let me play something like Castlevania. But I, especially because that's like occult things, and they were super religiously restricted back then. I'm so shocked they ever let me read the Harry Potter books, to be honest. But what ended up happening was I was walking along this cave as like my little 2D character. I think I had a torch of my own, but I didn't have any weapons or anything. So I'm walking forward, and there's just a line of orcs, evenly spaced apart. They have like a shield and a sword, and it's just like one after the other. They start walking towards me from the direction I was walking. So I turn around and I start walking the other way, and I'm faster than them, right? So I start walking the direction I came, and then there's another line of orcs that starts walking from the other side. And I don't think I had the ability to jump or whatever, and even if I could, I would have been able to jump over the whole line. So the only thing I could think to do was I stood directly in the center, as far away as I could get from either one. And then eventually they just both reached me on either side at the exact same time, and I woke up scared to death. I was like freaking out. That was one of the most insane, scary things that had ever happened to me in my life at that point. The only other time I recall having a nightmare, and this was later in life, I'm pretty sure, I would have been like, it had to be before first grade, because I was still living in Indianapolis, or it had to be before second grade. So it would have been in first grade, or it could have been, no, it would have been, it was like during the summer or the spring, because the storms were really bad back then. It was like hurricane season. And we didn't get hit by a hurricane, but it was like a tropical storm force thing. And I think that's partially what contributed to the nightmare, because there was like thunder and stuff outside. But I had this crazy dream where like a creature wearing like a tiki mask was banging on the door trying to get in into our house, and it was just like bashing the door down, making all this noise, and the door was like starting to break, and my grandpa went up to confront it, and I don't remember if it got inside or if it never got inside, but he ended up just like dying of like a heart attack or something on the floor in front of the door that this tiki creature was trying to get in, break down. And then eventually I woke up in like a cold sweat and absolutely terrified and all kinds of things like that. But those are the only two nightmares I've ever had. I've had lots of really intense dreams where I was in like Mortal Kombat. Like I had a dream where, probably my favorite dream that I've ever had, I was on the top of a pyramid fighting the Ghoul Ould. I don't know how to spell it. That's how you spell it. Which are the creatures from Stargate that see themselves as gods, and according to Stargate, built the pyramids. They have each one has slave soldiers that bear helmets which represent which god they fight for. For example, these serpent gods are the soldiers of Apophis. I think this might be I think these are the guards of Ra. Let's see. Does Reddit know? Yes. This is from the Stargate film. Oh, Horus. No, I was right. Yeah. So so these Horus masks were the servants of Ra, and also these Jaffa soldiers have, so that is what an actual ghoul looks like. They are serpent parasites that basically infiltrate your spine and connect into your brainstem and take over your body. And they have the genetic memory of all the Gould that came before them in their parentage. So the Jaffa, they actually have the mark of the god they serve tattooed on their forehead, and the highest ranking Jaffa, which are honor guards and such, will get like gold stuff implanted in their forehead like this. This is teal. And I had basically a dream where I was fighting. I don't remember if I was fighting with the people, like with the members of Stargate SG-1 or something like that, but it was more of a Stargate SG-1 setting than a Stargate Atlantis setting. I want the team itself, but I had like this type of gear on. I had a P90, and I was just on top of like a kind of pyramid thing, fighting this Jaffa army, and it was probably the coolest damn dream I've ever had in my life. But for a lot of people, that probably would have been a nightmare, you know, because they were obviously trying to kill me. So let's see, can we get... I want to show you, they carry staff weapons that shoot energy blasts. Okay, no, I don't want this. Jaffa army. Okay, here we go. So I was experiencing a thing like this in my dream, and it was the coolest damn dream I have ever had in my life. Oh, that's... I actually used to watch it on this channel, Comment. Oh. Alright, so that is... That's terrible. This is actually a very rough scene to watch for that part. But here, this is like the energy blast and stuff I'm talking about. So Teal'c actually was the Prime, which was like the highest ranking Jaffa of Apophis. He abandoned Apophis and joined SG-1 to try and fight against these false gods, because he was, even though like being the Prime, he got to see that they weren't really just how vulnerable they were, but the problem was the Jaffa did not have the ability to overcome the technology of the Goa'uld until he encounters SG-1. SG-1 is a team from Earth, which is mystical among the Jaffa and the Goa'uld and just the galaxy and the universe in general, because we are known as the Tauri, which basically were the only group of slaves to overthrow and drive off the Goa'uld. So when he's like, oh, these are those energy blasts that were, this is like basically what my dream was. And it was the most fun I've ever had in a dream. But, yeah, I don't really get nightmares or anything like that, but I do pay attention to what happens in my dreams, because I do believe we can learn a lot about our subconscious that way. I tried keeping a dream journal once, but it was just impossible, because like every dream that I have is basically a novel. So it's like, how do I write a novel down before it fades? Because it fades within like 30 seconds of waking up, you know? All right. Make art, drawing, painting, writing, music, or any activity that enables you to trust. We're back to ways to confront your shadow self, or to try and track down the shadow leakage, I think is what they called it. Shadow material. Make art, drawing, painting, writing, music, or any activity that enables you to trust and follow your instincts is going to help you connect with the more intuitive, less ego-driven aspects of your psyche. Just start and see what happens without trying to control the outcome. I used to do this with writing exercises. Some of them were kind of crazy. I wrote a short story once about how President Obama helped to lead the country in defense of interdimensional dinosaurs that came to steal our stores of Nutella. That was a fun one. That was pretty crazy. Avoid striving to create something impressive. Let the unconscious show itself to you by showing up constantly and bringing a mindset of acceptance and curiosity. Now I want Nutella. Meditate. When we sit with quiet attention, actually, I have Nutella down here, but I'm out of saltines. I'm gonna go get saltines while I read this. Okay, chat, we got the goods. I love saltines. This one's cracked, so I can't use it for this. Oh man, I'm kind of low. I don't have much left. Oh, it smells so good. Almost lost my knife there. All right. That was delicious. Meditate. When we sit with quiet attention, we learn about some of the natural habits and abilities of our minds. We also tune out the external chatter and make space for what emerges naturally from within. I recommend a daily meditation practice for everyone. I don't know if daily is right for everyone. I would get rid of that everyone thing. To say everyone is a little excessive, especially because like most things that apply to everyone don't apply to me. So it's like, how am I going to meditate every day when sometimes I stream for 30 hours straight and then I have to sleep off that stream? So that's 2 days for me inside of one other person's. Like 1 day for me equals 2 days for most people. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I can't use any of those sleep tracker apps because, or like anything that has like daily. I had to stop using Duolingo because I got so sick of using my streak, because like I would wake up and like I would do it every day for me during like breakfast or lunch or something, but I would still lose my streak because I wasn't logging in every day, every like actual day, according to Duolingo. It'd be like, oh, you didn't practice yesterday. I'd be like, what the fuck do you mean? Yes, I did. I fucking woke up and I did that shit, and then I went and I streamed for 18 hours. And then it was so frustrating. I actually had to stop using Duolingo, and it's really annoying because I paid for like a year at one point, and I even sent messages. I'm like, hey, can we get like some way that this accommodates non-24 people? But they just don't care about that at all. They just care about your money. And their response was, well, whenever you lose a streak, you can buy gems to get your streak back. And I was like, yo, fuck you. I'm uninstalling this app. I need to look at a different website to try learning languages now. I heard Babbel's kind of good, but I think you have to pay for that one. But anyways, well, hun to bed, Steel. Steel should take a bath every day, but he doesn't. Actually, D-Day, you shouldn't take a bath every day. That's really bad for your hair and skin. You have natural oils on your body that protect it. You should probably only take a bath like every other day unless you get dirty. But yes, fair enough. I mean, hey, I have to counter being a streamer, even though I don't pull the views I used to anymore, I have a responsibility to my chat to make sure people understand what's healthy and what's not healthy for them. I don't want to propagate misinformation, because like most of those skincare products only make your skin worse, so that you need to buy more skincare products. That's like the whole point of them, you know, to sell you skincare products. So if they actually fixed your skin, then you would need to stop buying skincare products. But anyways, good night, D-Day. Thank you so much for hanging out. Really appreciate you, bro. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow probably. We're going to do the music stream once I get up and get everything going. All right. So I do highly recommend meditation as well. Interestingly enough, since D-Day brought it up, I do most of my meditating in the shower. I find that really helps me to focus, where the white noise effect, there's like a little bit of sensory deprivation with the water. Also, like if you don't notice, I carry all my stress in my shoulders and my neck. So having like the ability to switch between hot and cold a little bit to kind of massage that out of there. But also just, I love hot showers. Like if my skin isn't red when I come out, it wasn't hot enough. But which kind of sucks about this place. This water heater works great, but the shower head is terrible, and so is the knob. It's one of those ones like that's like twisted at the like you get at a hotel where it's just like a long bar and you twist it all the way around till you get the temperature you want. And it makes no sense why it was installed here, because those things are insanely inefficient when it comes to water usage. So even though I have my water heater set to literally the max, I run out of hot water here so fast, it's insane. And one of the primary things I want to do once I have the money is put a different fixture on there. I do have a different shower head. I actually got sent one in a like a move-in box from the local energy company. It's supposed to be more water efficient. I just haven't had time to replace it because I've had so much other bullshit to deal with, like fucking 3 feet of snow dropping all over the place where I live now. I've spent so much time shoveling snow the past couple days. Even today, I woke up and I shoveled snow, and then I came here and started doing and getting ready for this. But yeah, I highly recommend meditation. And I'll tell you what, I used to think that I would never be able to clear my mind, right? Because as I mentioned before, I have that insanely active imagination where I'm just constantly creating and destroying and recreating universes in my brain. And that's why my dreams are so insane, because like each dream is like a whole ass movie or novel. And I was just like, well, you know, maybe I just have a mind that can't possibly be that quiet. But it wasn't until I got up here and specifically got away from my parents and a lot of the other negative influences in my life that I was able to start. I've actually reached a point where it was pretty quiet up there. And it was while I was meditating, I was like, okay, so that is an achievable goal, even for someone with a mind like mine. So I think that was the cat. You probably couldn't hear it because of the noise gate, but there was something sounded like it was scratching, or oh, he's got his scratching pad out there. Yep, that's probably exactly what I heard. So, but it's also worth noting that it took me years of meditation, and on top of that, the removal of great sources of stress and toxicity from my life before I was able to achieve that quietness of mind. So next is use active imagination. Active imagination is a process developed by Carl Jung to work with unconscious material. Well, that doesn't really help us. That's got that I feel like that's the one that needs the most explanation, but it's the shortest paragraph. They gave us 2 sentences. And the last is to work with a therapist or a Jungian analyst. Working with a therapist who understands shadow work is the best way to help you uncover what your brain is keeping hidden from you. You are likely to make progress more quickly and safely than if you undertake this work on your own. I don't know about that last sentence, because there's a lot of therapists that don't want what's best for you anymore. It took me many years to find a therapist that did anything for me. Most of the therapists I went to only made me angrier because they were wrong about everything. We've got no snow yet. You're lucky. I fucking hate snow, dude. Check out my, if you haven't seen it, check out my socials. I made a post there, how much I hate snow, and I demonstrated it. But it can be very, very difficult to find a therapist. And I don't know how many good therapists are left anymore, actually, because everyone's becoming so polarized that a therapist should make you at least slightly uncomfortable, but in a good way, right? Because you're going there to change things about yourself, and change any type of growth is painful. But there's 3 problems with modern therapists. Is one, they're just too fucking stupid to know what to do, right? That's the one that I went to in college, where it was like, she had good intentions, but she like actually didn't know anything about therapy. It felt like I was talking to a robot the entire time, because she would just, it felt like she was reading questions that she learned to ask out of a textbook. And like half the time they wouldn't even be relevant to my problem. So I was like, why am I even wasting time talking to this dumb bitch? You know? That was the whole thing that I would get when I was trying to talk to a therapist in college. Then the other two, I haven't really encountered these that I'm aware of. I mean, I guess the high school counselor was kind of like one kind, but not the other. The high school counselor, I didn't really talk to him about therapy thing, just like with career planning and stuff like that. Was very much the kind that wants to manipulate and indoctrinate you, right? There are not a lot, but a lot more than there used to be, therapists out there that they don't want to help you. They want to make you into something that's useful to them, essentially, or something that they agree with. And they don't really care about your own thoughts and goals and emotions. They just care about making you conform. So those are like arguably the worst type, I would say, because you might confuse them with the type that actually helps you, because they are helping you change, but they're not changing you in a good way. And then the second worst type is the echo chamber therapist that kind of just like reinforces all your beliefs and like, no, you're not crazy. It was absolutely totally sane to like keying your boyfriend's car after he cheated you was just a natural expression of your inner feelings. And if he hadn't cheated on you, that wouldn't have happened. But then like if you actually step back and look at that person's life, like they have consistently done things like that to other people, where just like a little bit of inconvenience, or not, and I'm not saying cheating is a little bit of inconvenience, but I'm saying it's at scale levels where like even small things that shouldn't have caused that type of reaction will cause them to like ruin your shoes or like something like that, you know? Just crazy, absolutely unhinged, a lack of respect for people's property across the board. And it's like, you don't want the type of therapist that will just tell you everything's going to be all right and you're perfect the way you are. Because if you were perfect the way you are, you wouldn't be going to therapy in the first place, you know? And none of us are perfect, and none of us will ever be perfect. Anyone ever tells you you're perfect the way you are, they're a goddamn liar, and you should run the fuck away from them as fast as you can. Because they're only trying to manipulate and indoctrinate you, or at the very least, keep you complacent so they can feed on you like your cattle. Lastly, it says, none of us can fully examine the layers of our unconscious mind, but we can benefit. I don't even agree with that. I think we absolutely can. It's just going to take a lifetime to do so. But we can benefit tremendously from creating space for the shadow to make itself known to us, honoring its contribution to our wholeness as humans. Doing so creates the potential for both personal and societal growth. I will agree with the last statement there, because the only way to improve society is by improving yourself first. I got distracted by social media. Social media is a plague. Alright, let's play some Path of Exile, because I need some for my mental health. Yeah, I know. It hasn't disconnected again, has it? I don't think so. It would have popped up. Alright, let's dude, I'm so mad about that, because every time that happens, it kills my viewer count. Alright, I'm going to stuff my face while we wait for the game to start, because I won't have hands to do that once we're in the game. Four days, 15 hours till the early access of 2 comes out. Wait, I thought it was December 8th. Did they change it? Maybe maybe it was 8 days, I think. I think it was 8 days that had me messed up. Alright, so last thing we did was we finished Act 3, I believe, and we had just killed the guy who exiled us to this place. Got a little bit of vengeance. And it was well deserved because he seemed like a pretty evil dude. He did evil and selfish things in the name of God. Y'all know God don't appreciate that. In fact, it's the first commandment. Thou shalt not use the Lord's name in vain. Alright. Oh, I've got a quest here.
To kill a man like Dominus. That's an accomplishment worthy of Kaum, my greatest ancestor. Were we in Namakanui, I'd make you a Makanga, an honored warrior.
Oh, why
But
thank
we
you.
are not in Namakanui. We dwell in a city of death, and my respect is all the honor I can bestow on you.
That's all I need. Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
You have claimed the most worthy of prey, Makoru. Piety and Dominus, the harbingers of nightmare. I'm not saying the war is over, but you've given Rayclast a much-needed respite. Because of you, this land lives to see another dawn.
Oh, that's so nice of her. Alright. Doesn't look like there's anything else to do here. Alright, so we gotta find our way to Act 4. Oh, I can just teleport back there? Cool. I was hoping I could. We didn't have a town here yet though, and I needed to sell my shit. Cool. I was like, did I remember to sell my shit? I did. So the last thing we did last game actually was, with help of a viewer, set up some pretty solid modifications to our build. So we're ready to go now. We can handle anything. We are a Templar class. We gotta bring that divine power of God to bear. Mirror arrow. I think that's new. Right? Nothing of interest here so far. I like this area. Pretty cool looking. There we go. That's something interesting. Those vultures were tougher than the other ones. What is that thing? A maelstrom. Oh, I don't even have my abilities on. There we go. Now I'm doing damage. I don't have my big buff on. What's this one do again? Oh, yeah. Dude. Alright. Now we're gonna crush things. Let's make sure all the abilities are working. Easy. Oh, mesh boots. So, we don't care about the boots themselves. What we care about is that it's 3 sockets, which I think gives us a wisdom scroll automatically, or something else good. Like, allows us to adjust our gear. I haven't gotten lucky with the barrels yet. Oh, there's a chest. Finally something to loot, but nothing in it. Is there anything up here? Those ones were kind of tough. They actually got through my my spirit shield. I think that's the first time something actually broke through my spirit shield. Ooh, finally something yellow. Oh, this is a big one. There we go. Nothing I really want there. We've been going that way, so let's check, see if there's anything hidden down here real quick. Or is this actually the way we go? No, it just loops back. Yeah, it loops all the way back. Alright, now we're in a new area. Did I accidentally pick up the chainmail? Oh, that's a big guy. That was a terrible spot to choose to stop. Oh, he died? Really? That wasn't that tough. Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't need that. Damn it! I wish there was a way to turn pickup off and not attack. Like, there was an option somewhere. Oh yeah. Move only. Default attack. Why does default attack pick shit up? I don't get it. That's the only thing that's actually a gripe of this game. Is that when I attack stuff or move, I just pick up random junk gear that I don't want. Ooh, give me that. Is that like... I thought that would actually take me to a... Oh, it's just... Maybe some loot down here? Or... There's a lot of stuff there, but nothing I really need, I think. Alright, let's keep going. Here's the dead end we were looking for. I feel like in general we've been going that direction. So let's see what's over here first. These guys are a little tough. Get that axe. Iron scaled gauntlets. Alright. There was a spot over here that we didn't really explore. Yeah. Okay, it takes us back. Can't go across there. There's a note. Captain Vicente, the Highgate, holds the secret to the true origin of the gems. Cleanse the mountain of those Marraketh parasites and secure the entrance to those mines. Do not disappoint me, Vicente. As you well know, my displeasure can change a man. Piety. Piety's such a fucking bitch. I'm glad I guess we did kill her. I just don't remember doing that. Hey, we're here at Highgate. Is this like an actual town? Cool! We got to the first town. That's just a person. Let's talk to Kira.
We opened the gates to you for two reasons only. Dominus and piety. They made themselves our enemies. You made them dead. Now, Oyan believes there is a third reason. The beast is our enemy. Perhaps you can make it dead as well.
I look forward to killing the
Dominus
beast.
was High Templar in Oriath, was he not?
Your god needs to be more careful when he chooses his servants. Then again, perhaps he learns from his mistakes. We shall see.
Dominus wasn't really a servant of God. He was a servant of himself, masquerading as a servant of God. Which brings us back to what we said earlier, where God doesn't really appreciate those who would use his name in vain.
Oyan has ordered me to help you, to trade with you. I have risked much to gather weapons and armor for this Akara. I've scavenged on the fringes of Vol's encampment and scouted the dead city. Let us see if you can offer any value in return.
Oh, absolutely. I murder things for a living, or haven't you forgot that? Let me see what I can offer you first. Oh, there's an axe. We might want to see what that is, though. We'll see what this gilded axe is first, but we'll sell the rest. Lightning based, though. Damn, it's like a vampire axe, but it's good, but it's not better than the current axe we have. So she can get this too. Purchase items. What do you got for me? Nothing great, huh? There's something decent, but it's not for us. Yeah, okay. Oh, we already checked that. Alright. Let's talk to the other guys.
Go where you are needed.
Indeed I will.
My Lord Templar, I can't tell you how good it is to meet a man so willing and able to put the Order back on the road to faith.
God, Padaris!
Vanya,
I've just seen too many foul deeds done in the name of faith.
committed by those who talked of God while they acted for themselves.
Fine.
Exactly! Dude knows it. Dude knows it. He literally just said what I did. They act in the name of God but for themselves. And if you serve yourself, then you're actually a slave to the devil.
My grandfather was a captain in the Ebony Legion. My father too, and me. Just following the path that had been laid out for me.
Until you met me.
Yes, until I met the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen.
Behind bars. An exile waiting to become an experiment. Not quite how I imagined meeting the man of my dreams.
I realized then that I wasn't part of the Ebony Legion anymore. I'd become a blackguard like every other damned legionnaire inside, taking orders from a madman.
Pataris freed me and led us here.
I'd heard about the Maraketh from those few legionnaires who survived the assault on Highgate.
And I talked them into harboring us.
Vanya can be very persuasive when she wants to be.
I like this group. Just couple.
Hair crest of hers stuck so far up her.
Come on, Vanya. She's a warrior. It's not her job to be nice. It's her job to defend.
Look all lithe and sweaty when you're watching her train. That's the only job you're interested in.
I'm studying the Maraketh fighting style.
Sure you are, sweetie. We've a few bits and pieces lying about that might help with what's to come.
Bits and pieces. I risked my neck to salvage those artifacts.
I know, sweetie, and I really appreciate your artifacts.
You didn't say that when I brought them in. You said Is that all?
You'd been gone for ages.
And you think you could do a quicker job?
Yes, if you'd let me, yes.
No. Not for all the jewelry in the world. What if I lost you?
Okay, I'm sorry. We have charms and regalia sourced at great risk from some of the most dangerous places in Rayclast. Better?
Yes, thank you.
Tell me about this beast.
I heard of the beast before coming here. Piety talked about it. I suppose she saw no point in keeping secrets from the people she was planning to murder.
I'm so sorry, Vanya.
God, it's not your fault, Pataris. But Piety used to say that the beast was the source of her power. How she managed to turn poor men and women into those things. She kept using a phrase. What was it?
Universal transmogrification. I heard her assistants talk about it too.
The power to change the world into anything you like.
Bloody scary power in the hands of someone like Piety.
Bloody scary powerful stop.
Indeed, it is. See what they got for sale. Okay. Can I just buy infinite numbers of this shit? Or is there only one in stock? I'm curious. I don't have any of the stuff on me needed to buy any of those things. Well, we'll figure out if we can buy
Bye.
stuff later. Someone else we need to talk to. Bye. Dishret's seal. The entrance to the mines is blocked by Deshret's seal. Nico, master of the depths.
Seems like the rains brought out a few worms. Don't think I'm an easy mark, Exile. I've spent more than enough time around Exiles to know which way the dagger's pointing, and I'll happily give it a shove in your direction if you try anything wormy. I'm conducting a little dig, the sort of enterprise that could make someone with your particular skill set a very handsome living. Don't worry, you'll not be moving much dirt. No, no. Why smash rocks when you could smash skulls, eh?
I mean, you kind of just insulted me, so why would I help you? I mean, you definitely didn't just kind of insult me. You seriously insulted me.
What's going on? Came all the way here to see what's what in this famous mine, but there's a bloody big glowing wall blocking it. Can't squeeze through. See ya
Looks
later.
like someone put up a ward of some sort, dude.
This is neither the time nor the place.
Can I break those? No. Duatni? Or whatever your name is? Wait. Oh, there we go.
I am Tasuni,
Tasuni.
Peers into the gloom. Who hears the black hearts that thunder within the mountain deep? If you seek enlightenment, find a torch. If you seek to understand the nightmare, I can help feel your way through the darkness. Your holy mantle is stained with the blood of the countless, Templar. A sacrifice worthy of a god. Just not to the god you had in mind. Keela rides more swiftly and strikes more truly than any other Dakara here. If only she could learn to think as swiftly as she rides, and speak as truly as she strikes. Better and worse are judged not on the talents one prizes, but the talents one needs. Pitaris and Vanya, two mouths that speak from one mind. When together, they express some quite interesting thoughts. When apart, well, half a thought isn't really even a thought, is it?
I like this guy too. I have divination cards, but I don't know what to do with them yet. I don't want to ruin them and fuck myself up, so we're gonna wait on those. Alright, let's talk with... Oh. Hey, we know who this is.
The time has come, not a cockroach, to crawl up into the bowels of this nightmare, traverse its innards, and rip out its corrupted heart.
Oh, damn.
Oyun will help us. Go on now. Hobnob with the Maraketh matriarch. Learn what needs to be learned, and quickly. There's a filthy darkness down in that mountain, and it's reeking with impatience to meet you.
Oh, I'm reeking with impatience to meet it too. Well, actually, I'm quite patient.
Bye-bye.
But you just gonna stand there after saying bye-bye?
Not a cockroach. Hello? Ta-ta, not a cockroach.
Whether it is our gods or your god who have brought you to Highgate, the consequence is the same. You believe blindly in the divine, and a blind man is never lost in the darkness. You will kill the beast within the mountain. Lady Diala has told me this. She has much faith in you, Templar. The question is, can we Maraketh share in her faith?
Absolutely. Just gotta give me the chance.
Trap the nightmare within its black den. The beast should never have been imprisoned. The beast should have been destroyed, yet for all her ferocity, it seemed that Deshret lacked the courage to do so. And now, after 2 centuries guarding this hole in the ground, this Akara lacks the strength. But you are not Deshret, and you are not one of us. You will succeed where we have failed. Deshret's banner will break the seal and open the mines. It was taken from her when she fell to Vol, the brittle emperor. Take the stairs to the southwest. Descend to the dried lake. You shall have no trouble finding the brittle emperor. You'll smell him before you see him. Bring Deshret's banner home, and you will be free to pass into the darkness as you wish.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
The Maraketh once stood united under Deshret's banner. That was before...
Can I get more out of this?
The tempests, the corruption. Deshret rode here with this Akara, the Kiato, to put an end to the beast's curse. And upon the very threshold of the darkness, she faltered. Perhaps she saw that King Kalm had gone there before her and not returned. Or perhaps the nightmare simply overcame Deshret's seemingly indomitable courage. Either way, she chose not to ride into the mountain to slay the beast. She closed and sealed the mines and committed this Akara to Highgate's guardianship. The tempests, the plagues, they passed. Of their own accord, or because of Deshret's seal, we do not know. But what I do know is this. When Deshret vowed to watch over these mines, She simply traded one curse for another. Vol and his
I can relate to that.
dipped their fleshless claws into the lifeblood of the Maraketh since the day this Akara tethered its roar here. Such is the way with men of war. Remove their tongues, yet still they thirst for blood. Remove their bellies, yet still they hunger for battle. Remove their manhood, yet still they lust for conquest. I will make allies of whomever I deem useful. We have observed the actions of both Blackguard and Exile, and it is Pitaris and Vanya who give meaning to those actions. This Akara has not mixed with other than its own for over 200 years. The outside world has now discovered us, so it is time that we discovered it.
She's a wise leader.
Kira has the blood of Deshret in her veins and the bonds of Deshret in her mind. Her loyalty to her Akara is admirable. Her loyalty to the past is not. Tasuni has been corrupted since the day he was born. Maraketh tradition would have it that such a warped child be left upon the moonlit plain for the gods to adopt. Tasuni was not taken by the gods that night. Such a thing has never happened before in our Akara. Now we know why. Tasuni is a man caught between two worlds, our world of light and the beast's world of darkness. He is our scout in the black, and without him, Nightmare would remain beyond our understanding. And an enemy you cannot know is an enemy you cannot fight.
True. Your most valuable weapon is knowledge.
Wishes the beast dead. But why? Why would a nightmare wish to kill a nightmare? A question of great interest, yet little importance. It does not matter why the sun rises and sets, as long as it continues to do so. Our hopes are with you.
I have other. Oh, I thought that was new things popping up, but that's just the thing I can't interact with yet because I got to go down this way, I think, or maybe not. Through one of those doors, I guess. Through this door.
I am sorry, God. We must learn not to abuse your creations.
Dude. Nice.
This one is captured. China will take it.
Oh, down here, bro. What are you doing over there? What is shooting those blasts at me? Okay, Nightwing. Ooh. Anything else I want? Good. Alright. There's another beast. Oh. There's something kind of scary sounding this way. Wait, was that the other beast? Let's go get that last guy.
An exhilarating hunt, Exile. Now, it is time for Einar to go to Einar business.
I am no beast of burden.
Anything I want here. Alright. And the rest can be done with whatever. We'll just pick some random stuff since we're teleporting. Right.
Yes? I've led many a war party against Vol and his army, and I've seen too many of my Dakara die. I shall look for your return, but I shall not expect it. As we give strength to the outside, we grow weaker on the inside. First, there was Pataris and Vanya. Now there is you. It shows how little faith Oyan has in us, in her own Akara, that she would treat blackguards and exiles with such admiration. Oyan is my Sikema, my commander. I am her Dakara, her warrior. I defend this Akara as Oyan sees fit. Whether Oyan is fit to see what is best for this tribe, it is not for me to say. My mother gave Tasuni to the gods. The gods gave him back, and I thank them for it every day. Given the choice, I would never have chosen Tasuni as my brother. But then, family is not about what you want. It is about what you need. When a woman forgets how to die, a woman forgets how to live. Deshret said that to her Dakara on the day she killed Titushus, scourge of the Maraketh. I say this of Diala. When a woman knows nothing of life, how can she care for the living?
Alright. Wait. Damn, that's a lot of damage, but it's lightning. Cold. Cool thing, but we're gonna sell it. Oh. We might actually check those out too. The ones we have right now are just better. These rapture mitts are so good. Alright. Oh.
Go where you are needed.
Alright, I am starting to drag a little bit. I think we are going to go ahead and call it there, especially since we kind of lost everyone. Stream went down. Let's go and oh, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna raid Preacher. Dude, what do these filters fucking do? Where is he? There's a lot of people alive right now. There we go. Alright. So I am going to go to sleep, guys. I will be live tomorrow with music. But I am exhausted. I'm starting to not talk on the stream. And I'm trying to stop doing the whole gaming silently while staring vapidly off into the void. Not good content. So I'm much better off to just go get some rest, wake up, and start fresh tomorrow. Appreciate all you being here. Don't forget to follow the socials that are already in chat. Go give love to my friend Preacher of Valor, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.
I'm just trying to see if it's dope is still on. I don't see him. Oh, wait, he's playing Lockdown Protocol though. Whoa, Steel Drifter with the raid right here with the party of Uno. Feel the steel. How you doing, sir? What is up? It's good to see you on here streaming again. I was just talking about you. I was like, yo, homie out here, they streaming again. It's good seeing you, man. How you guys doing? I'm Preacher About Entertainer, and we're actually ending it tonight. We just played Subfi, the new Battle Royale top 4 game. It's really fun. Really, really fun. I'm gonna play that. Yeah, it's a really cool game where they have these guys called hunters with unique abilities. I gotta get Jin. I'm like, nah, I shouldn't get Jin. He's too edgy. But I'm like, you know what? I kind of want Jin. He looks pretty cool. I was using Myth. I'm liking her too. I think I can get her down pat. I'm understanding her kit. She's like a range charge attack character. I like that. Yeah, this game is really fun. Really, really, really fun. I'm liking it. I think I might play it some more for y'all, and hopefully y'all like it too. You know. Oh, you did? You streamed it for 13 hours? Oh, you have a lot to teach me. Excuse me, because I'm trying to learn how to play characters. Like, I'm just picking up loot and stuff, but I'm like, I want to slow down and kind of focus, like, okay, I should grab this to boost up my cooldowns. I should grab this to pop before a fight. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm noticing there's a lot of potions or, like, little boons that will, like, tailor towards that character. Plus, I'm still trying to find who I want to use. I want to unlock them all and figure it out. Because who knows? I might want to be a healer or a controller or a frontliner or an initiator or something. You know? There's a lot of fighters, though. They got to calm down with that. Like, Ghost is kind of a problem. Ghost is kind of a problem, bro. Yeah, I gotta find my main first. I will try to find my main first. I might look at Bishop. Bishop's kind of cool. Bishop's kind of cool. Alright. Vera, Cross, Doomfist, freaking Tracer in the face of the character. Or Oath. He's adorable. I'm gonna crush your skull. He's a whole freaking paladin. I'm adorable. Yeah, we're gonna call it for the night for y'all. Then I know I will stream Wednesday Delta Force if you want to play Delta Force. Wednesday, Thursday, I will let you guys know what we'll be playing that evening. But today we'll be playing more Delta Force. Friday will be Marvel Rivals. For that, Saturday will be recap day. We'll be checking out videos and highlights and clips of the games we played during the week. Our final impressions of them, and then 1 hour of dedicated gameplay to our choosing from those games. Oh, Still just said I had a Chad 4-stack for a while, and one of them was a Bishop. I've only seen Kingpin, Zeph, Iluna, Ghost. I've seen a Bishop. A ton of Ghost and Jin. I haven't seen Brawl. I haven't seen him. And I'm like, is he really just a berserker character? Fearless aerial swordsman? Like just in your face, causing problems to the ones who want to shoot. Oh, hold to charge a ranged fire blast. That's what you do. Okay. He might be my guy. He might be my guy. Kills enemies by spiking them with the obsidian slam. That is crazy. Sends enemies straight to the death box with volcanic rebuke. Stay dead. Oh man, he's the edgy guy. Okay. We might unlock him next. Oh really? Alright, well we saw like we got a little game we might be playing for December. Cold freaking super vibe. I was trying to see who was playing it on our photo list. But right now, everybody's playing I got a lot of people playing Destiny 2 and Fortnite right now. Destiny 2 is the more surprising one. More of a surprising one. Oh, still, if you have Lethal Company, I am down to play. Down to play some more. Let me scroll back now. The big people, Baho Shaw, y'all playing games that we not even playing, like XCOM, just chatting, Warzone right now. Alright, what was it? Ether 2 is I forgot about that. I won't keep y'all long. I was gonna host it after, I ain't gonna lie. But he hosted us. Let's host Pro Quesadilla, because I know he's gonna stream for a minute. He's playing Fortnite, the new map. We played it earlier. I said I liked it. I enjoyed it. I like the movement. It's really fun. And we played with mouse and keyboard. And we won a round with mouse and keyboard to boot. And it wasn't bots. And I like that. But if you don't know who Pro Quesadilla is, he is a shoutcaster commentator. Well, he used to commentate for tournaments. He hasn't done it in a while, which is kind of interesting to me. But he does play a large variety of games like Final Fantasy, Fortnite, Remnant.
I stopped the stream, right? No, I didn't.
That's on his list. He's probably gonna play it. It's in his community.
Bye, guys. I've just been talking to Preacher. I'm just so tired. I didn't even realize I was still. I'll see you tomorrow for the music.